Hi, I'm Jill Keb with Healthy Facts. This is a really delicious dish that I've made many times, eggy brunch casserole, and let's just get started. You're going to use some silken tofu. Now I tried to drain off a little bit of the water, and there's still some water in here. I say in the recipe, to add a little bit of water if you think you need it. So we'll see what happens, because we're going to blend this up with some seasonings. So it's going to be, kind of want to be a pourable mixture. The chicken seasoning is also on the Healthy Facts website. This is amazing. In fact, I just remade it today. When I don't have this in my pantry, I hate it. You guys want to make this. It made this much. I had an empty jar. It's has a lot of nutritional yeast and celery seed and a variety of different seasonings that when you blend it in the Vitamix or blender, it has a wonderful chicken-like flavor. So that you can also do something similar that you can get at a health food store, but you can also make this sort of chicken seasoning on your own by looking at my website. And then here we have a variety of some more seasonings and a little bit more nutritional yeast. So we're really going to have a well-seasoned meal here. Okay, so I'm going to let this blend. Let's see how quick that was. So I don't need to add any water. I can see right here. It does depend on sort of the consistency of your silken tofu. And this looks like the perfect consistency for the dish. Okay, so it's kind of a fun thing when you have company at the holidays. Let me move some of this aside. And I put some parchment paper in this sort of ugly pan, because my good pan is in Michigan, where I also have a lot of my equipment and a beautiful house. That is not where I'm living right now, but this place is all right. Okay, so now we have some rye bread or pumpernickel. You want to cube that up and put that at the bottom of your dish, and then pour about half of this over the bread. Stir it around a little bit. Okay, and then you want your hash browns to have been, thawed out, or at least not totally frozen, that you can sprinkle those on top as your next layer here. We're going to cover this dish tightly for 30 minutes and then uncover it for the second half of the recipe. This is just going to be so good. And then I'm using a little bit of sausage here, the field roast apple maple, but there's so many different kinds of lovely plant-based sausages out there, and I recommend more of a breakfast sausage for this dish, because it's kind of a breakfast dish. Got people in the house for the holidays and you want to treat them. Okay, you want to remember that trick of putting your finger at the bottom of the food processor to keep your blade, at least this version. All right, and then I'm going to sprinkle, got my hands dirty again, it's always happened. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of paprika on top, a little bit of parsley. It's going to make a pretty color. I usually don't keep the sprinklers on my seasoning. I end up usually taking them out because I use so much and barely don't sprinkle that often, but I'm sprinkling. Okay, I'm gonna cover this up with foil and it's going in the oven. This is what it should look like when it comes out of the oven. You might want to let it sit in the oven a little longer depending on your oven temperature. And again, what kind of moisture you had in the silken tofu. It's going to be spring back to the touch. No real shiny parts.